What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another fantasy video. Today, I'm going to be doing a fantasy mock draft for you guys. So before I took a little bit of a hiatus throughout the NFL offseason, I gave you guys a way too early fantasy football mock draft. So today, I'm going to be doing another one of those. I'm really excited for it because it is almost fantasy season. Maybe in some of your leagues, you're figuring out your draft order right now. I know some of my friends were kind of going and looking at the golf tournament this weekend. It's like a FedEx championship, and then our draft orders and the ranking of the golfer you got. So that's all going on right now. Preseason is about to be in full swing, and yeah, we're going to just talk fantasy football, everybody's kind of favorite fall activity. So I'm going to be on ESPN here. I'm called Matthew's Motivated Team. Thank you, ESPN. It's a 12-team mock here. It's a little bit easier to look at compared to Sleeper. I do use Sleeper for my main leagues. It's going to be a 12-team. We have the 5th spot, so I think this is going to be a very interesting position for us to be in. Who I'm going to target in the first round, the second round. We'll be kind of on the fly throughout this because I have no idea who's going to go where. It is going to be PPR as well. And yeah, we're kind of back, right? Preseason's going on. Training camp has been in full swing. And before you know it, it's going to be Labor Day weekend, and then we're going to have the NFL season start right after that. All right, so we are about to start this draft, and unfortunately, I'm not going to get Jamar Chase or Bijan Robinson. They're most likely going to go ahead of my pick. Now, sometimes I've seen like Saquon Barkley fall to the 5th overall pick, and the odds of Saquon repeating what he did last year they're obviously very low, right? Like, he had a historic 2024 season, but I still think he should go top 5. I think I still feel safe about Saquon under Nick Sirianni with what he did last year, and we know how solid the Eagles' O-line is. Then Jahmyr Gibbs with no Ben Johnson, with that offensive line extremely banged up from what it was last year, and some guys retiring, some guys have left. So I'm taking Saquon over Gibbs in any one of my leagues. I'm honestly taking Saquon over Justin Jefferson in any one of my leagues as well. I could see the debate in Bijan because you feel like that big, massive breakout season is coming, a couple years younger. I still feel the need to take Saquon over Bijan, but I see, like Chase, obviously I'm taking. So I would take Saquon ahead of Jefferson. I think he's going to be great, but there's just obviously a little bit of volatility with having JJ McCarthy as your quarterback. So Chase goes 1, Bijan goes 2, Saquon goes 3. So like I said, what I would have done, Justin Jefferson's going to go 4, which makes this a little bit tricky for me because I just kind of down-talked Gibbs a little bit. But I still love Gibbs in a way. I just didn't really like him more than Saquon. Christian McCaffrey can be great. There's a lot of good receivers this year. There are. But maybe I can get one of these guys on the wraparound. I think adding George Pickens is going to be great for CeeDee Lamb. And as long as he can stay healthy, he could be very close to Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase as the top wide receivers in fantasy. I love Puka this year, but with Matthew Stafford banged up as it is, I think it's going to hurt his value just a tad. Malik Neighbors is obviously extremely valuable. Same with Amon-Ra. Now, since I went wide receiver early in a 12-team league, it's tough, right? Because running back can get very thin very quick. So there's a chance I could end up taking one high. It's crazy that RJ Harvey is ranked like 72nd right now, ahead of like starters like Isaiah Pacheco and Jalen Warren, just because I think Harvey's was like 5th on the Denver Broncos depth chart. So we'll see who ends up falling to me after CeeDee Lamb goes Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane. I mean, I like Achane a lot. And Christian McCaffrey, man, at like number 7, I don't hate that either. I would love to get him on a wraparound. I remember last year in my main league, I took Gibbs and Saquon on the 112 wraparound, and then the first pick in the second round, I took one of the other guys as well. Like, I would like McCaffrey a little bit better in that range rather than at number 7, but hey, I mean, you can't have it all, right? So I could just go RB0 in this mock as well and see how that turns out. I don't love that. I'm somebody that usually goes the opposite way, and I'm pretty much hoarding running backs. I would take 3 running backs with my first 3 picks before I go RB0, which I'm not going to do for sure. I don't know if like at pick 20, would I take Josh Allen first? I think there's extreme value in getting Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels at the top of your draft, or Lamar Jackson, who just went. But after those two, I am waiting on a quarterback for sure. I know like it's not a pass-heavy offense, but Justin Herbert later on. I think Dak Prescott will be better this year. There's obviously the rushing upside of Justin Fields or Drake May, Jordan Love later on. Tua with the injuries, I don't know. It's crazy that CJ Stroud is going this low. I know CJ Stroud was disappointing last year, and the offensive line has its question marks, but man, he's going to have so many weapons. They get Christian Kirk. They draft a couple receivers from Iowa State. You have Nico Collins, who's a true wide receiver 1. So I would rather take like CJ Stroud in the 10th round, then I would rather have like Patrick Mahomes in the 5th round. So we'll see who ends up falling to us. Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Eshin Genty, Derrick Henry, all off the board. The next best running back would be Bucky Irving, who I don't mind. Kyron Williams just got paid from the Rams, whose offensive line is different. Who's to say it's going to be better or worse? I don't really love Devontae Adams there. Like I'm preferring Lad McConkey, even a bounce back year of Tyreek Hill over Devontae Adams. I don't hate Jackson Smith-Njigba, but you got to believe in Sam Darnold, Terry McLaurin. Who knows what's going on with him right now, right? He did request a trade. I think that's going to get resolved eventually. We just have to see who blinks first. So I could end up going Brock Bowers, who I think is going to be a stud. Man, that's tempting to take Brock Bowers. I also like the idea of one of Drake London, Brian Thomas, or Nico Collins, and Nico just went. I haven't really thought about this, but I could pass up on like Bucky or Kyron. I got 30 seconds to figure this out. Oh man, but then it's like Chuba Hubbard, it's Alvin Kamara, it's a rookie of Marion Hampton, it's Kenneth Walker, James Cook later on. Do I think I can get James Cook at 29? I don't know. So I think I may just ride the Bucky Irving train. I'm a little scared. But Brian Thomas is so good. Like Brian Thomas and CeeDee Lamb's a lot of fun. Screw it. Let's do it, man. It's a mock. I got to see how this plays out. There's a lot of risk to this. I would love to get James Cook as my RB1. He's probably ranked a little bit lower right now because of the contract dispute. I expect him to play for the Bills. I do think that whoever is back there can be somewhat interchangeable. I mean, he's better than Ray Davis, right? But I do think, like, I don't know. I don't feel like Buffalo's going to pay him what he wants, but you never know. I wouldn't mind getting Chase Brown. The problem is I have I have to wait a lot between my 3rd and 4th round pick. So yeah, like I have 3-5, but then I have like what, 4-7, 4-8. So it's going to be a little bit. There goes Bucky Irving. There goes Drake London. I'm hoping like a quarterback or two goes, but I don't think that's going to happen. You never know. Allen Daniels may go. I doubt Kyron is there at pick 29 overall. Drake London, yeah, just went, who I thought about. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. and CeeDee Lamb is a lot of fun as my first 2 receivers. Man, that's really enticing to do, like on an actual draft. Trey McBride goes, Chase Brown goes ahead of Kyron Williams, which is interesting. There goes Kyron Williams, a couple picks ahead of me. So I don't know. James Cook is the next best running back on the board. I don't trust Breece Hall. I don't trust James Conner. I mean, like James Conner, I don't mind. I should trust him, but we'll see how much involved like Trey Benson's going to be. Kenneth Walker, I could take. I mean, I still believe in Alvin Kamara. It's just that offense can be very lackluster this year, for sure. We'll see how Tyler Shocker, Spencer Rattler is going to be for this team. Although the offensive line is not bad. There goes T. Higgins. Like Trayvon Henderson's down there a little bit. Aaron Jones is down there a little bit. I'm not really trusting DeAndre Swift, although him in Ben Johnson's system is intriguing. Like Caleb Johnson's like RB3 on the Steelers depth chart. RJ Harvey's like RB6 on the Broncos depth chart. And Vad McConkey goes. All right, so my risk paid off. I'm getting James Cook, who, yes, has the he could hold out, right? He could sit out. I don't think that's going to fully happen. I think he'll end up getting paid, or he's going to play regardless. It could be like a Melvin Gordon situation where he sat out and then came back. I don't think so. I mean, this is just a mock, right? We're just trying to get a feel of who's going to go where. But I love that. CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, and James Cook to start off this draft. Hell yeah. So an early look at my next pick, which is in around 10 selections from now, I think I'm just going to look at, I think, a couple different things. Heck, I could even go another receiver, although I would not mind getting another RB here. David Montgomery. I mean, he's always solid, right? But I'd rather get David Montgomery in like the 6th or 7th round than the 4th round. I mean, Josh Allen is off the board. Jaden Daniels is off the board. So what I said before, I don't think I'm going to take Joe, unless it was like Joe Burrow fell to me in like the 6th round, sure. But I'm not going to do that, I think, at pick 44. I could go tight end, although I don't love some of the options here. Like I'm intrigued about Colston Loveland later on, or Tucker Kraft, or Evan Ingram, rather than taking one here. I think Kincaid could have a bounce back year if I wanted another Buffalo Bill. So I think all signs are pointing to me taking another running back or another receiver. I think Kenneth Walker would be great. Alvin Kamara would be great. Mixon's already banged up a little bit right now. Obviously, I can maybe get like Nick Chubb later on. There's Cam Scatabo. I could end up taking, I think I'm going to take like Trayvon Henderson, Kamara, Kenneth Walker, or Chuba Hubbard. Maybe Chuba here. All right, so I'm up in a couple picks here. Kittle is gone. Connor, Swift, Marion Hampton, Breece Hall, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans. There goes Alvin Kamara. I think I'm going to take Chuba. I think Chuba at 44 is pretty good value. Chuba, Cook, Lamb, and Brian Thomas Jr. kind of love that start, honestly, in a 12-team league. Let's see. This is where, he's going to go right ahead of me. There goes Kenneth Walker. So there are 2 teams ahead of me. I'm not sure their running back situations right now, if they're going to go. Okay, Jackson Smith-Njigba goes at 4.6. So this guy's team, let's see what he's got. 1 running back, 1 receiver, 1 tight end. So he could definitely go with a running back here. Don't take Chuba. I'll take Trayvon Henderson. Because I don't think he'll be there at 50. It always happens, right? It always happens right before your guy goes. So I could take Garrett Wilson. Just get Garrett Wilson. Oh, man, I don't love that. Oh, man. Do I want to reach on Trayvon Henderson? I think he could be there at 53. Is there a tight end I love? No, not really. I mean, I'm not going to take Joe Burrow. I think I may end up taking Garrett Wilson here. Yeah, I'll take Garrett Wilson. I mean, I can't really trust Justin Fields, but Wilson was still fine last year in a lackluster Jets offense. Now, he's going to get a downgraded quarterback from last year's Rodgers to Fields. So I don't love that pick for sure. You could have been like, Matt, you should have taken Joe Burrow there. I totally get that. How do I think Sam Laporta will be? Maybe a bounce back year for him. And I thought I could maybe get Trayvon Henderson at 53. It could have been wise for me to take Henderson there and then another running back at 53 just to get a little bit more depth because running back depth is crucial. So now it's the waiting game. Joe Burrow goes right after me. Rashee Rice goes. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes. We'll see if he can have a bounce back. I mean, like, he was disappointing as a rookie, but he was still a rookie at the end of the day. DJ Moore, I think, is such a fascinating fantasy player because you got Luther Burden, Colson Loveland, Roma Dunze for Caleb under Ben Johnson. We'll see who's going to be the wide receiver 1. It could end up being Rome by like the end of it. So we'll see what ends up going on with the 2025 Bears. Calvin Ridley, Devonta Smith, like some good receivers still on the board for sure. So like, I don't think there's that much of a difference between Garrett Wilson and like Devonta Smith. So that's probably the pick I'm regretting a little bit. I really was hoping I can get Chuba Hubbard there, but I can't get lucky all the time. So I'm going to hope to take Trayvon Henderson at 53. If it's not Henderson, it may end up being Aaron Jones. I mean, they invested into the offensive line with Will Fries and Ryan Kelly. You still got Christian Darrisaw. You have a good offensive line. So I think like Jones could be RB2 worthy. There goes Adunze. There goes Joe Mixon. Last time I wanted a running back with my next pick, he got taken right before me. Could I get Trayvon Henderson? Bang. RJ Harvey goes ahead of Trayvon Henderson. What are we doing? I don't love that. I do not love that. So I get Trayvon Henderson there. Definitely some boom. Definitely some bust potential. I would have loved Chuba Hubbard. And like in an alternate reality, I get Chuba Hubbard with my 4th round pick. And then I'm able to take like Cortland Sutton, who just went, or I could have taken Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley. I like Calvin Ridley a lot this year with Cam Ward over in Tennessee. Zay Flowers, there's Xavier Worthy, Terry McLaurin. I mean, it's great value for Terry. I assume Washington's going to pay him, right? Like, he's been through so many down years and bad quarterbacks. They're going to pay him his money. Like, he went, I think, 1-3 or 1-4 for me, my Dynasty League, but I wonder where Travis Hunter, like, finally goes in these redraft leagues because he's somebody that's played corner and receiver in training camp. It's just something we've never seen before, right? Like, he's so valuable in the NFL if he could be, like, a good enough wide receiver, like, high-end, even if he's, like, a high-end wide receiver 3, low-end wide receiver 2, or an average wide receiver, but, like, an elite corner, that is something we have never seen before and could be so valuable for an NFL team. But in fantasy, there may not be too much value in that unless you play in an IDP league and you can get wide receiver points for an IDP. I think for quarterback here, yeah, like this is the range I don't love. Like I think you could go right, you could go wrong with any one of these guys. Mahomes, who was kind of been disappointing with Matt Nagy over the last few years. You got Bo Nix, you think there could be a sophomore slump, little rookie regression. Kyler Murray, with maybe not the best weapons in the world around him. You have Brock Purdy with a lot of like moving parts there in San Francisco, and Brandon Ayuk is going to be out for a little bit. I like Caleb. I like Justin Herbert. There goes Mahomes. Is there any tight end that I love a lot here? Not really, honestly. Like, I don't mind getting Dalton Kincaid 4 rounds later than TJ Hawkinson here, although he can be the kind of safety blanket for JJ McCarthy. Could Travis Kelce have a bounce back year? But, like, how old is Travis Kelce, right? Like, do you expect him to be a little bit better this year? Could try to take another wide receiver, but I think I'm going to go running back depth. There's a couple of running backs I do like here. I like Tony Pollard as your RB3. I don't think there's too much competition behind him. Isaiah Pacheco, like also not a lot of competition there, and he was banged up when he came back last year, or he got hurt last year. He wasn't great when he came back, but maybe he wasn't 100%. He went anyway. I don't love Tyrone Tracy because I think Cam Scatterbo can eventually be the RB1. I like Brian Robinson and like that high-octane Washington offense. Javonte Williams could have a bounce-back year in Dallas. I mean, I kind of like Jalen Warren more than Caleb Johnson. I just feel like Mike Tomlin will be stubborn. But I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I know they took Jordan Mason, or they traded for Jordan Mason, but Aaron Jones was really good last year for somebody, and he's going to be my RB3. I'll take that any day of the week. He doesn't overlap bye weeks with any one of my guys, and none of my receivers overlap with their bye weeks as well. I like this start for sure for my 12-team league. Now, this can go horribly wrong. The Jets offense could be anemic. Aaron Jones can have some age regression. James Cook may not play. Trayvon Henderson may not just be good in year number 1. But I just feel so comfortable about the receivers. I do feel like it is boomer bust potential between my RBs. And if anything, like Garrett Wilson, Aaron Jones, one of those guys has to be flex worthy next year. And I do have the 77th overall pick. Judy goes, Pollard goes, Kyler goes. I know I'm not going to have the greatest quarterbacks in the world or the greatest tight ends, but I'm just somebody that goes for skill position guys, aka running backs and wide receivers mainly in fantasy. I'm not going to end up taking quarterbacks super high. I usually regret it when I do, especially tight ends going forward. I think I took Kittle very high a couple years ago when he wasn't great. I took Hurts kind of high last year. He was good though by the end of it. So yeah, I think Hurts, Saquon, and Gibbs in reverse order with my first 3 picks. And I either didn't make the playoffs or I lost round 1 because my receivers were like Michael Pittman, George Pickens, and I had Dalton Kincaid at tight end. It was not fun. I don't love David Njoku. I don't mind Mark Andrews. Best running back on the board, Tyron Tracy. Jalen Warren is just super reliable. Jalen Waddle still here. Jameson Williams still here as well. I kind of like Waddle to have a bounce back year. I mean, Jacoby Myers with a better quarterback could be really good value. I think I'm going to take Jalen Waddle. I mean, I kind of love that. CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas Jr., Garrett Wilson, and Jalen Waddle. 4 really good receivers that have, I think, high floors. Now, Waddle has injury concerns as well. If Tua gets hurt, geez, right? Like, Zach Wilson's throwing him the ball. But I think it's safe. Well, I guess I shouldn't say safe, but it's proven guys that as long as they could stay healthy, I think could be serviceable enough. Although at one point last year, I'm sure somebody was starting like Calvin Austin over Jalen Waddle late in the year because he was disappointing last year for sure. All right, so at 92, I mean, I think this is where I would go for Herbert. I think I do like Herbert a lot. I don't mind Stroud either, like later on a little bit. There's just like, you got to pick the right guy here. Not like there's going to be a lot of misses in this range. Tight end, I like Loveland, but he may not be like a mainstay for a little bit, like a main focal point. Chigakonkwo, kind of like as well, right? Like just such an upgraded quarterback from Will Levis in Cam Ward. I could just take another running back. I could take J.K. Dobbins, who is going to be the starter in Denver, and they have a good O-line. Like Dobbins could be a beast with Sean Payton over there, who you can never trust Sean Payton with running backs. You can't. Last year was such a carousel. Brian Robinson goes, Jalen Warren goes, there goes Travis Hunter. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like Herbert or Caleb will be off the board. I think I'm going to take Herbert at 92. I just feel safe about Herbert, and I don't think I could be super confident that he's going to be there in the 9th round for me. So I don't mind taking Herbert in the 8th. It's not what I'd love to do. But I don't know. Maybe Trevor Lawrence is better this year. Maybe Cam Ward is somebody you could take later on. Bryce Young, Geno Smith, like some valuable pocket passers. But I think I'm going to just take the high floor of Justin Herbert, who didn't really get like major additions, right? Like we'll see how Trey Harris is going to be. We'll see how Keenan Allen is going to be. He's going to be back there. And obviously they have Ladd McConkey, but they didn't add like another true wide receiver 1 or high-end wide receiver 2. So I'm going to take Herbert, although Fields in fantasy is so intriguing. I'm going to take Herbert here. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But I wanted to get a quarterback under my belt. Bunch of guys off the board. Emeka Buka, Cam Scatabo, bunch of rookies. Jordan Mason goes. So yeah, maybe that's somebody I should have targeted. All the quarterbacks are still here, so maybe I could have waited on somebody. I think I would take J.K. Dobbins here at 101 if he doesn't go. Travis Etienne at 115. I know like Bigsby may just be better, but there's still, I feel like, upside in Etienne. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, at this point. I mean, new offensive coordinator. But like Tank Bigsby's also ranked down here at 117. Stephon Diggs goes. I think I'm going to take Dobbins. Not a sexy pick, but I think he's going to get the starting carries for at least the first half of the year. Maybe you could trade him. Who knows? Right. But I like that. I have Dobbins, Aaron Jones, Travion Henderson, and James Cook. All right. So I'm about to be up here. Dallas Goedert, Colston Loveland, all tight end options. I feel like I would like to get one off the board. Tucker Kraft, I don't know how I feel about that one. I could take Drake May. Does he have the same buy as Herbert? He does not. Oh, man. I mean, I feel like I can get one of these guys later on. Should I snag another receiver? Why not? You know what? I think I could stash Brandon Ayuk. He'll be back at one point. I have Ayuk, Waddle, Lamb, Thomas, and Garrett Wilson. It's kind of good. That's kind of good. Obviously, wide receiver is my strong suit. Running back, it's solid. Dobbins, Jones, Henderson, Cook. It's not great. It's not the worst in the world. Probably should get a fifth running back. But I'm going to take a tight end here at 125. Unless I wanted to take Drake May, who I kind of like this year. I think I could maybe get CJ Stroud in round 12. So I'm going to take my first tight end. I kind of like Loveland more than Kraft, but it may take a little bit of time for Loveland to be like the guy over Komet. And I'm on the board. I mean, Ferguson just got extended. Do I want Ferguson and CeeDee Lamb? Loveland unfortunately just went. So I'm going to take Dalton Kincaid. So I have Kincaid and James Cook. Definitely some risk in that as well. I was just so high on Kincaid coming out of Utah, and he had such a productive rookie year. I feel like there could just be a bounce back in there. All right, so Matthew Stafford, I think this is where I'm going to take CJ Stroud to be my second quarterback here. Him and Herbert, I like. I mean, Anthony Richardson is so valuable, but we won't, like, you're not taking Anthony Richardson unless you know he's the week one starter. And I think in this round, sure. I'm recording this before his preseason game, but we still don't know who's going to be the starter between him and Daniel Jones. Both have running back upside or running upside. Anthony Richardson obviously has way more upside, but I don't even know if he's going to end up being the starter. Keyshawn Judkins went in the 12th. Yeah, we don't know what's going on with him either. So I'm going to take CJ Stroud. So I got Stroud and Herbert as my quarterbacks, 2 more bench spots, which is going to be probably a tight end and a running back. And then I got a defense and kicker to do. I'm going to take my favorite team's defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Their defense got better, you could say, this offseason. Minka to Ramsey. They kept TJ Watt. Hopefully Cam Hayward gets an extension done. So, I mean, fantasy, you never really know. And it's kind of matchup based as well. They do play the NFC North. Some good quarterbacks, some unproven quarterbacks in that division. I believe they also play the AFC. Is it the East or the... I forget off the top of my head now who they're playing this year. I know it's not the South because they played them last year. So I'm going to take another running back. The Jaden Blue picture is kind of funny. Will Shipley over there in Philly with Kenneth Gainwell in Pittsburgh. Anybody that I like upside here? Maybe Nick Chubb. Yeah, let's take Nick Chubb. What if Joe Mixon is kind of banged up this year? There's Blake Corum. Obviously, I could take a different handcuff. Ramondre Stevenson's like off the board. Antonio Gibson is there. I'll take Nick Chubb. Why not? And then my last pick is going to be backup tight end, and then I'm going to take a kicker. So I think my tight end is either going to be Jonnu Smith or Chig Okonkwo. Just Darren Waller, could he be Jonnu Smith over there in Miami? I don't know, man. Like, who really knows at this point? I may take Chig here just because Cam Ward is such an upgrade over Will Levis. So I'll take Okonkwo. You know, sometimes rookie quarterbacks like their tight ends. And then for my kicker, I don't know. Evan McPherson. Sure, we'll do it. He's going to be my last pick here. So that is going to finish out my second mock draft here. I definitely want to record at least one of my main leagues for you guys this year as well, where there's definitely going to be more pressure for me throughout the draft. So yeah, this is my team. I think the wide receivers were very strong between CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Ayuk when he comes back as well. The running backs, hit or miss, like Cook. There is some variance there. Henderson variance. Jones, we'll see if he's got another year of like high productivity or being a highly productive running back. J.K. Dobbins, I kind of like value-wise where I got him, and Nick Chubb as well. I got 2 quarterbacks in C.J. Stroud and Justin Herbert. Not super flashy, but they did go up against each other in the playoffs last year. So that was fun. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you want to see more fantasy football content, drop a thumbs up. Let me know. Let me know down below how you would have gone about this draft differently. Maybe somebody you're targeting throughout fantasy football this year. And yeah, just let me know if you want to see more content like this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.